Welcome to the podcast that's dedicated to helping business owners prepare for exit so that you can maximize the value of your business and exit on your own terms. This is the Exit Insights podcast presented by Succession Plus. I'm Daryl Bates-Brownsword, and today I'm talking to Andre Abi Awad. Welcome, Andre, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Daryl.
My pleasure. Now, Andre, you have sold your business in May last year, I believe.
Yeah.
Digital. Why don't you give us a bit of a heads up around the type of business you're in, and we'll take things from there if you like.
Great. So I started my business in 2012. It was first dedicated to create marketing and sales funnels to our clients. In 2017, we introduced a platform that we partnered with another two developers who were part of our business to create a platform that creates lead acquisition for companies by salespeople on LinkedIn. In 2018, we restructured the company. I'm going to talk about that later, when one of my senior people became the partner in the business. And at the end, we sold it. We focused because we pivoted many times during our business. At the end, we sold it. It was lead acquisition for SaaS companies, software as a service. We sold it to another company who deal also with SaaS clients.
Okay. So did it start out? So what I'm really interested in is the story of entrepreneurs, business owners, the journey of their business. So I think 2012, you said you started.
Yes.
What was your mindset when you started the business? Did you have a vision, an end goal of what you were hoping to create? Or, sometimes people tell me that they sort of fell into something and it just you grew and the opportunities. What was your mindset at the beginning?
Well, Daryl, personally, I'm a trainer and advisor for entrepreneurs and business owners. I've been doing that for 15 years, since 2008, and in 54 countries. My clients in 54 countries as incubators, accelerators, or entrepreneurs themselves and business owners. In parallel, since I was 16, I used to do web development. I still have my web hosting company since 2005. And when the social media started to appear, I started with the support of friends and freelancers to offer social media management back in 2008. And in
Right.
2010, we had a big client, and then we lost that client by just a single word. He said, "We want to stop our work together because the daughter of the owner is going to start handling our social media." And she was a graphic designer student, not even graduated. So I don't like competition, and I don't like when I'm in a red ocean. So I took the time from 2010 till 2012 to figure out how I can upgrade my services and offer something in a blue ocean. So I came to the marketing funnels, sales funnels back in 2012. It wasn't that common. And I started offering it also using friends and freelancers. I was the solo person in the business. Actually, the first employee I started my company with was hired in 2016, January 2016, when I figured that I got some big clients and I wanted to grow a team. That was 2016. Then fast forward in 2017, after Facebook introduced the lead Facebook ads, so people started noticing that there's something called lead, and then you convert them to clients and so on. We wanted to also upgrade our services. In March 2017, I was in Johannesburg, South Africa. I met with two developers from Serbia and Croatia, and we decided on working together with a lead acquisition platform on LinkedIn. In May 2017, we started offering that. They became also partners in the business because they didn't want to sell the platform as is. And fast forward 2018, I I promoted one of the senior people in my business to become partner in the business, but it was under conditions. And he got two new clients in a new country. It was Kuwait back then. And in November, and my main purpose then, because I used to work with business owners on their exit strategy, my main purpose in 2018 was to stop being involved in the day-to-day operations. So on my birthday, I remember 25 November 2018, Roy, the partner, told me my gift was not to come anymore to the business because the business is going to be running with him. And that was the continuation. We're going to talk about that later.
Okay, so just trying to piece it together, like you started, so it sounds like you started at a young age as a teenager with a web development company. 2012, some things happen, and then the current business in its early model, 2012 to 2016, I think you were operating without employees.
Yes.
So you changed the business model. So your thinking starting to evolve, to get, I guess, more control of the business, to get some growth, to manage that growth. So you've got some employees in the business.
Yeah.
At this stage, Andre, was it a business that was an online business that delivered its product and service online, or were you delivering face to face at this stage?
Well, the reason I employed my first employee is because I got one big client, and he also promised me to get me more big clients. So I said I can't do that anymore with part-timers, freelancers, and people supporting. So I had to employ my first employee. Uh, the way I used to acquire clients, and that was the way for most of the time, I created a community for entrepreneurs called Entrepreneurgy, where I interview and host successful business owners. And when I see that we can benefit them from our services in Digital Smarter, my company, I used to go and meet with them and ask them for the business. And we also had, that's something additional I need to tell you. When we used to do the marketing funnels, as I said, it wasn't common, at least in my region, because I was doing it in Lebanon and the Arab world and the Middle East. So we introduced, because it wasn't common, we introduced something in the contract. It was called double bulletproof guarantee. And what does that mean? It means you invest with us for 3 months, that's the minimum period. And if we don't generate for you double what you paid for us in these 3 months in sales, we give you back your money. So that was the way I used to go to businesses when I see that they fit and we can add value to their business. So meeting and getting sales was offline from my network most of the time early on. And then delivering the work online because it's digital marketing, as I mentioned.
Okay, so sales process offline. You tapped into the network that you've built over the years through your training and your consulting in a number of countries. The power of being so sure about your product that you offered a guarantee where you said to clients, hey, look, if it doesn't work, we'll make it worth your while. We'll totally take the risk away for you, which makes it really easy to buy. You were one of the first to market, especially in your region,
Yes.
in I guess identifying emerging technologies. So you did a land grab, I guess, and got in early. And that seems to be a theme as the markets evolved. You've identified trends pretty early on and jumped on board, because I think you were saying that later you moved towards LinkedIn marketing and specifically and Facebook marketing when Facebook's first started to go down those marketing and offering ads and doing some marketing in those social media platforms. And then you said something that I found really interesting, is that you started focusing on SaaS platforms and products that offer their products are basically software as a service or SaaS based.
Mm-hmm.
Why the adoption of SaaS products, Andre? What led to that?
Yeah, very,
I'm
very good.
suspecting there's another market opportunity there that you've jumped on.
Yeah, I'll also take you through the journey. So, first, when we used to offer the double bulletproof guarantee, we made sure that our clients have high profit margin. So we know that
Yeah.
the strategy. I'm not going to go through the lead acquisition and the funnels strategy, but we made sure that they have high ticket, high profit margin, and also high ticket, in order for them to afford us first, and then for us to deliver this value. During the years, we discovered that we don't have to get clients who have products. Having clients who have services, we have better strategies for them. So also we pivoted to deliver our service for companies who have services, not only products. And in 2021, early 2021, we had our clients, as I didn't mention that on this interview. Our clients were in 11 countries in 2021. So that was one of the reasons we sold the business, because the acquirer got the portfolio of our clients, not only the platform that we've created. So in 2021, one of our clients, they were in Saudi Arabia, and they got funding, like millions, their Series A funding. And suddenly, because we work with accounts, so with every salesperson, we do the lead generation for them. So suddenly we were working with 7, and now we're working with 20 within like 2 weeks. So we just investigated that. So what happened? We discovered they got the funding, they started expanding, and so on. So me and my partner and the senior people in the business, we said, this happened with us, with another client in another country, but not that level. Like they were 3, and then they became 5 or 6 when they got a small funding. So why not work with SaaS businesses, because they have the probability and the opportunity actually to have funding and expand their team. And that was the ignition of the idea of focusing on SaaS, early 2021. And then during the year, we had one of our clients in Egypt, and he said, guys, you work with SaaS companies, and I work with another company who gives me services that you don't provide. Why not work together and get introduced? Maybe you refer to each other. We said, yes, why not? And they are those who acquired us later on.
Okay. So identified the opportunity that, hey, look, early on, always worked with clients who were highly profitable, so they could afford your services to begin with. And if they were profitable, they were going to make a good margin and a good return. So it just de-risked it for both you and for them. Taking that a step further, you've gone, hang on a sec, SaaS companies are more likely to get some good funding. SaaS companies need lots of online marketing to really crank up their growth and scale their business, which is what their business model is all about. So if we just we're good at that, so let's focus on SaaS companies, and that seems to be where our niche is. And then so you've gone, okay, so I've got my business model built around my product and my offering and my marketplace. I'm fine-tuned that fairly well now. The business is growing well. What's the next door product? What's is there a JV, or is there some sort of partnership agreement that if we can control a vertical, control our pipeline, then that kind of makes sense as well. And did you say that they ended? So you partnered with this other company, and they ended up being the acquirer?
Exactly. Actually, I came to my partner and I said, you see, I find that there is a lot of synergy between what we offer and what they offer. So how about we acquire them, or we check if they would like to acquire us? So he reminded me that in 2018, when I promoted him to be a partner in the business, the sole purpose was, one, for me to stop being involved in the day-to-day operations by the end of the year, and it happened in 2018. And 2 was to plan the business to be exitable, to exit the business. So he said, you know what, your goal was to exit, so check if we have a good offer, maybe we go with it. Instead of acquiring them, let them acquire us. And that's what happened.
Okay, so 2018, you're starting to think about, how do I get out of the business from an operational perspective? How do I get an operational exit, if you like? And then, so you were thinking about that and working on that 2018, and then 22 or 23 did the business actually sell?
22.
22. So about a 4-year time period. That sort of fits our template. It takes 3 to 4 years to really get ready for an exit. So you followed the template: succession out of the operations, and then exit the business. you brought a business partner in, mentored, promoted him up to be running the business so that you knew it was in a safe pair of hands. And then that enabled you to have the strategic conversations and work at a strategic level at a value, as in working on the valuation side of the business. Work with this partnership, and then you said, well, hey, either we buy you or you buy us type of conversation. In terms of size, of the two businesses, was there much difference?
Well, in terms of revenue, they had more revenue than us because they offered more services and at a higher fee from us. But in terms of geographical reach, we had more than that they do. So we were in 11 countries. They were only in 4.
Okay, so it was a good strategic fit for them because they already had a wider product offering, so they're effectively buying distribution. They're buying reach to a whole lot of new markets. So that made it more of a strategic acquisition for them.
Exactly.
Okay, so conversations pursued. You're starting to develop conversations with these guys. How did you decide? Either we buy you or you buy us. How did that conversation go?
Well, as I mentioned, after I talked with my partner, he said, let's see what they are willing to offer us if they are interested. And we built that, let's say, friendly relationship because we were referring to them and they were referring to us. Almost they were upselling and cross-selling our services and their services. And there was synergy, and this is very important, by the way, to have synergy specifically with the values of each company. We had same values, and with the vision of where to go, how to grow, and so on. So when we did that discussion, we offered the value that we offered is the channels in 11 countries. We had already existing clients. We retained them for a long time, and the platform that they didn't have. So the service that we used to offer, they don't offer. So we offered that because my team, and this is also another point, my team did not want to continue working in the business after we sell it because the client also was interested in the portfolio and the platform. So the technology and the portfolio of clients. In addition, there's also one point to add, a lot of things to cover here. One point to add, after the things to work out with Roy in 2018, as I mentioned, the condition was to close clients in Kuwait in order for him to get the partnership. He got 2 clients back then. And then we discussed it like at the end of the year. Maybe we create this as a system or a process where if every employee gets 2 clients in a new country and sustain them for 3 months at least, retain them for 3 months at least, we give them a share in the business. So out of the 12 employees that we've had when we sold the business, everyone had a share in the business, and that was the magic of it. So to go back to your question, the acquisition was for the talent, for the platform and the portfolio. How the things went, it was offering them the value of the business. So if they just upsell and cross-sell with our clients, what's the value for them? And 11 new countries, out of which 3 they were present in, out of the 11. So that was a good deal for them.
Okay, so how did they value the business? How did they value the platform and the system that you developed? And did they see any risk? Was that if you had, I think 12 people, all with some sort of equity stake in the business, did you have some sort of shareholder agreement where, if you, the primary shareholder, had decided to sell, that they couldn't prevent that, or they had to come along with that sale?
Amazing question, because everyone in the business, because after my first partner Roy, who I told you about, and we agreed that we want to exit the business. So every employee who became partner with a minor share in the business, also signed an agreement that they won't leave the business when we exit, because the plan is to exit the business. And by the way, we had an earn out of 6 months, me and my partner, but the business was running on processes. So mainly employees became, after 2018, they became only the account managers and the sales people to get more clients and to onboard people. But the work, the lead management, was happening on the platform that we've created in 2017. So everything was according to SOPs, according to systems and processes. And this is very important, because first, it increases the value of the business. Second, it helps you onboard people whenever you are hiring. And third, it helps the acquirer to make sure that things will continue operating whenever you're leaving, because everything was systemized and everything was clear to do that. So the earn out was very short, by the way, because sometimes it's longer than this. It was very short because the transition was very smooth. They only worried about if clients will leave just because we are leaving. And we already countered that, because clients were not there just because they have relationship with the owners or the partners. They were there only for the service and the value we were bringing. So we were only a channel between the value and the client.
So you had everyone, all of the employees were involved in client acquisition, so sales and servicing clients. The platform did all the delivery for them. It was very much a systemized approach. So very consistent, repeatable, reliable results. Once you demonstrated it to the clients, you could demonstrate good, reliable results. That also gave comfort to the acquirers, the people who are looking to buy the business, that, hey, the business really didn't have any dependence on the owners, or the main founders and owners of the business. So therefore, the forecast of ongoing revenue would keep going as per the forecast. That was a reliable forecast, so you de-risked it from that perspective. All the employees were locked in that they wouldn't leave, so that gave the new owners, it de-risked it for them again. And so they were able to assess a valuation of the business with a minimal earnout requirement, which is now complete by the sounds of it. So what were some of the other risks to this deal, Andre? What were some of the risks? We've looked at the risk of employees leaving. You'd lock them in. You'd address the risk of owners by having a totally systemized approach. When you were in negotiations with the acquirers, what were some of the concerns and questions they were asking about?
Well, I guess I didn't answer completely your previous question. You talked about how we valued the business, and that was part of also the risk. So the value was, one, because of the platform. It will take them time to develop the platform. We had intellectual property for it, as I mentioned, the two developers from Serbia and Croatia. So that was one, and it had value. And two, the value was the channels that we created in these 11 countries and the existing clients, that if they upsell them, how much value would they bring in profit to the business. So the challenge here and the negotiation and the give and take and all the numbers coming, because I don't like the numbers when the CFO comes to that part, was about the valuation. And everything. I always say forecast is always wrong, and valuation is always wrong. So there's no right valuation. We always say valuation is what the client, the buyer, is ready to pay. So actually, the risk here was seeing the right value from both perspectives, and also negotiating uh, the number, negotiating the number between both of us. That took like some time, and handing over everything, showing them our revenue, our books, showing them also each client how long they were with us, and how long we retained them, showing them our operations, processes, SOPs, and so on. So that took a little bit of time.
Okay, so a bit bit of negotiation backwards and forwards, demonstrating the value, demonstrating the lifetime value of the clients and how sticky they were and how they hung around. It sounds like you only had one buyer in this process. So, which is great because they were interested. But the flip side is there's no competitive tension there. So how did you negotiate them up? How did you, I guess, apply some, let's say, encouragement for them to increase their number?
Well, yes, they used it to decrease the valuation a little bit because we didn't have another offer. But for us, we didn't mind continuing the operation of the business. So we weren't selling because sometimes founders sell the business because they need cash or they got into a personal problem, illness, whatever it is. But we just wanted to sell it because we found that it can be an opportunity. So we didn't pressure them. They used it against us, of course. They tried to manipulate the numbers a little bit. But for us, yes, they were the only buyer, and they used that for us. What was the exact question? Because I got the memories of that, and I forgot the other part. What did you want to know?
Given that they were the only buyer in the deal and there was no competitive tension because there was only one horse in the race,
Yeah.
how did you get them to up their valuation and purchase price?
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, they saw the value in what we do, the service, because they used to refer clients to
Yeah,
us, and we used to work with that
yeah,
together. And the value was more into the portfolio. We had a big portfolio of clients in 11 countries, as I mentioned, and taking the time to go into these countries and develop this client base and the cost of acquisition, retaining people, retaining clients, and so on. It has a cost. So we played on the value of this portfolio and the value of the platform. They can do the platform. They are a tech company also. They have the technology department, but it will take time and it's already there. And the main value was the clients. And lucky for us, our clients, most of our clients were from 2019 till 2022, the same and renewing. So we had few client acquisition in 2020, few client acquisition in 2021, but the bulk of our clients were before 2019, starting 2019. So before 2020, the bulk of our clients. So we demonstrated that our clients are not here to leave us. So whenever you get our portfolio, they will stay, and actually you have the chance to upsell them your services and whatever you have that can complement our service.
Okay, all right. So you mentioned that Andre, that the earn out period, if you like, was only 6 months. What did they require you do? Were there specific projects? Is there specific hurdles that you needed to achieve, or tasks you needed to complete during that period?
Mm-hmm. We only had to first hand over the platform, and the technology department, they have the tech people, they had just to go through it, make sure if they want to amend anything, they understand the code, and so on. So that was one. Two, hand over the clients, and also we had our part first to inform our clients that our company was acquired and nothing will change, the service will stay there, and they have an opportunity to jump on a call with their salespeople and account managers. We also handed, like, each account manager handed their clients to another account manager from that company. So tech and portfolio, and they needed us to stay just to make sure that people will renew. That's one. If any problem, or sometimes clients don't see their emails, if they see that a new company is communicating with them, maybe that will be an issue. So we stayed just to make sure we are the front if any miscommunication happen, and the legal stuff, of course, like the legal
Yeah.
issues, and yeah, that was the lawyer headache.
So really just insurance. Okay, Andre. So look, the process is now complete. You've completed your earn out. You're totally on the other side of this transaction. What do you know now that you wish you'd known before the process had started, or what would you do differently?
Well, I can say this on air because I've already told it to my team. Uh, I wouldn't give this much equity to people because I was so generous giving equity to my employees. Of course, I got equity. I got enough equity at the end, but I would have cashed out more, not being greedy, but later on when I sat down with people who have done it before and who saw what I've done, they said you are so generous, and I reflected on that, and I guess yes, they are right, but I don't think I'm not sure. Maybe if I wasn't generous, my team wasn't so committed, and they were able to get us to 11 countries with this much of clients. And another lesson that I'm doing now, because I'm launching a small startup now also, because you can't stop being an entrepreneur when you are an entrepreneur, is hiring the right people and knowing how to hire based on values. This is very important. And because, as I mentioned, Daryl, my team is in Lebanon, and if you just go on the news, you see how many crises we went through in Lebanon, from the economic, from also the corona and the economic crisis. But in Lebanon, we had much more on a daily and weekly basis. So hiring people on based on values who respect your vision, especially when you are promoting them to be partners sitting on the table, they need to have the same vision. If not, things will go the wrong way. So people, that's my best lesson ever.
So, following the strategy of get the culture right and then get the vision right, get people aligned to where you're going as a business. It's so much easier to teach them skills than it is to teach them attitude.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so maybe not so much equity next time. Is the thing. Is there anything else you would have done different? Like now that you've been through the process that you wish you knew before you started the journey?
Uh, well, one more thing was, if we were able, we took a decision not to offer many products, to offer one, which is a service, but we say product because we productized it, to offer one service or product and scale with it. Maybe next time, while exiting, we need to, before exiting, while planning the exit, we need to increase the customer lifetime value uh, by maybe upselling and having different other complementary services, because that was very simple, our offering. Lead acquisition through LinkedIn, and we offered it to everyone, to every client. So maybe later on we can increase the value of the business by increasing the customer lifetime value.
Okay, brilliant. So expanding the product range. Brilliant. Hey, Andre, look, I've really enjoyed talking to you and hearing your story of how you exited the business, and you built it up and you evolved it over time, and the strategy was constantly being refined by taking advantage of the changes in the marketplace. So well done to you. What's the, if we were to distill our conversation down to the one thing, what's the highlight, the key point that you really love listeners to take away from your message today?
Well, I would say plan your exit very early, and hire people who have your same values, and onboard people on the table who have your same vision also, not only values.
Brilliant. So make sure everyone's aligned. So they're all paddling in the same direction, or everyone's motivated by the same outcomes, and get started. If you begin with the end in mind, if you're planning an exit, you're going to exit the business at some point. If you start planning it early, you're more likely to increase the valuation.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Thanks for sharing your exit insights with us today, Andre.
Thank you, Darren.